A true master understands that the origin of all creation is universal consciousness, and that it is the divine source of all love and intelligence. So to be a true master, a person has to understand the way the universe has come into being. Know intimately the true nature of universal consciousness, and has to so purify himself of the ego impulses that he's absolutely free of all ego impurities in his mind and emotions. And when he reaches this state of inner cleanliness of thought, feeling, and action, never demanding of others, but willing and eager to give to the utmost of all he possesses, because he knows perfectly well that he can have anything that he needs. He will be a perfect open channel of divine consciousness, which is the creative impulse within this dimension of visible creation. Meaning, when one understands so deeply that they are that divine creative impulse, they know that all of their needs will be met without any doubt. And when he has achieved such a state of inner purity and cleanliness, he will live in a state of inner joy, peace, and unconditional love, and he will understand the living world and the difficulties such living things encounter, and feel an immediate and spontaneous love and compassion for all. When you see the suffering in other people and you know exactly why it is there, you have such deep compassion, because if they too understood why it was there, then they wouldn't have their suffering anymore, and then their life will transcend into a heavenly existence rather than the hellish one that they are in. He will have transcended the world and its millions of self-interest, self-indulgence, experiences of despair, fear, revenge, hatred, slandering, gossip, rejection of others. All these worldly activities will go on around him, but he will not experience them himself. He will only feel boundless compassion and love for them. He will only long and yearn passionately to teach the world the truth of being. And he will make every sacrifice with joy to help people understand the truth and to live in it in their every thought, word, and deed. And he will do this because it will be painful for him to know that as people stubbornly persist in their own way of thinking and feeling and reacting in any way that their emotions prompt them to do so, they are only creating more of the same misery which has driven them to seek a way out of it. This is the state of mastery that you should seek to achieve, because I'm telling you, it's a wonderful place to be when you can look at someone who is behaving or acting in a certain way and you have nothing but compassion for them, because you understand that they are so wrapped up in their ego. They are so unhealed within themselves that they cannot see what it is that they are doing to themselves. And so then you stop. You don't take things personally anymore, because you understand that it has absolutely nothing to do with you. That the only thing that has to do with you is you. And what you are putting out, you know, is loving, and you know is done with good intent. And therefore, if things come back that are not that, first of all, they won't, and they don't, because you won't see them this way. But if they did, while you're on the journey, on the path, you would know, this is about them. How can I help this person in a way? How can you help them? By being non-reactive to things that people throw at you, to contemplate, to ask a question, to let them see themselves very clearly. Many people will react emotionally, and they will come and they might even attack you in some way, or call you names, or do something along those lines. And when you don't feed the flame, you are putting yourself in a position to allow the other person to think and to wonder, why did they not react? Why did this not happen? And having somebody gain awareness of themselves, even though maybe they're thinking about you at the time of why didn't they do this, will in turn make them think about themselves. And perhaps they will become illuminated to something that they were unaware of about themselves before. But true mastery comes little by little. You will have, at some point, if you keep seeking and you don't stop seeking, you will have this enlightenment come through and to you. And then comes the challenge of the subsequent months that follow, where you are still reaping the sows of your past sowing. You are still harvesting what it is that you had been planting through your thought and your word and your action in the previous time before that. And so as these things present to you in the old fashion, because of the way that they were planted, you then have an opportunity to think, oh, okay, this is wonderful. Okay, this is coming from this, because I know that this was planted at this time. Thank you for showing me, and thank you that I am never planting a seed like that ever again. And so you can receive any of those things joyfully, actually joyfully, like, yay, I'm so glad that this came up, because as you do this, you are planting seeds of joy. And you know that you cannot get seeds of joy out of frustration. Seeds of frustration, you can't. And you can't get joy out of seeds of annoyance. And you can't get joy out of seeds of anger and judgment and criticism. You know that that's not how it works. Like, I can't plant carrot seeds and expect that cucumbers are going to come up. It ain't going to happen. You're going to get what you plant. And so because of the enlightenment that comes and you understand this, you don't just understand this, you know it. You know it. You know it on such a deep level that you can't unknow it. And you know it so intimately, and you know it so deep to be true. It's not just words that are in your head of, I know this and you know these things. And no, you know it. It is something like your best friend. It is like the deepest part inside of you. You know it. And you know it so strongly that you would not do that to yourself again in the future. You wouldn't do it to yourself again in the future, because you then love yourself so much, because you've had this enlightenment that you understand, oh, these things happened for me. Even the box of darkness was for me. I'm never planting any more seeds that are going to bring to fruition the boxes of darkness. But you realize that it was a gift. I think of the truest gift that was ever given to me was indeed the darkest. And so if you are going through something and you're like, it can't get any worse than this, then be joyful about it. Start planting those seeds of joy right now, because I'm telling you, and I promise you this, I promise you, okay, I promise, that on the other side of it is the reason why it had to fold that way, how it had to happen that way, how it had to be exactly as it was. And you then will see and you'll be like, oh man, had that not happened, then this wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have met this person, this thing wouldn't have happened, all the things wouldn't have happened like they did, had that thing that I thought was the most terrible thing not happened. So when you think, oh no, this happened to me, maybe I'm not even going to list the things off, because there's so many things that it could be. But whatever it was, if you feel like something has happened to you, been there, man, it's not. I'm telling you, that thing is a gift. I wanted to kill myself over the gift that I was given, like I did. I was like, I want to be out of here. If I didn't have children, I probably would have. I don't know that I would have made it. It was that painful for me. But on the other side of it was like, dang, good thing I didn't off myself, because then I guess I wouldn't have got to live the amazing and wonderful life that I have got to live since that point. Even the darkness is a gift, but we are changing this so that we do not need that darkness to get to the light, so that we don't need this contrast. This is what we are shifting. This is what we are creating. We are creating an era of peace and love, because the world was so embroiled in darkness for such a long time, but it didn't even know it. It doesn't even know it right now, but it's coming out, and you're seeing that, even globally, things are coming out. Things are coming to light that were hidden for a very long time. And these things are coming out because they are meant to come out, because no longer are lies going to be acceptable. It tears a hole in the fabric of consciousness. Meaning, somebody tells you a lie, and then you base your life off of it. You base your life off it. Even a white lie is an insult to someone else's consciousness because they are dictating their life around it. Even if you tell a story and you extremely exaggerate something in that story and you make it out to be better than what it was, you don't know what you are doing to the person who is receiving the story, who is now feeling maybe perhaps a certain way about themselves based off of something that was not true. The damage that is done is not acceptable. And because the darkness is being exposed and it is coming out to the light, these things that have been hidden in the dark cannot remain hidden anymore. And because they cannot remain hidden anymore, they actually have to come out to the people. And the people then have a choice of, are we going to react? What are we going to do? But I'm going to tell you, the advice that I'm going to give and say that this is necessary and we have to do it this way, is that we have to forgive. We have to forgive because, let's say, somebody's walking around with a blindfold and they're walking around and they are running into things and they're stepping in places that they shouldn't be stepping. And somebody just poured this new, big, beautiful cement patio and they're walking all through it. They don't even know that they're doing it and they're falling down and they're making a mess of the thing. And yeah, you could be mad. Maybe you spent a lot of money on that cement patio. Maybe you wanted it to be pristine and perfect, but it wasn't. But was it the person who had the blindfold? Was it their own fault? They didn't even know they were wearing it because they were born with it. They were wearing it their whole life and they didn't even know. So it's like we can't even be angry about the things because it all happened as it happened because it was meant to be that way. Because it had to play out that way for the long-term game to end up like it was. Like I couldn't just have this life where, I'm married and have the kids and do the things and live in this small town and work and go down and work at this little shop and people come and see me and I couldn't do this and have the long-term plan play out. So there was a necessary step that had to come into my life and be like, well, that's over. And it had to be something that was so harsh and so dramatic and so extreme that I would barely be able to survive it. So that I would then have a choice of, are you going to survive it and heal, or are you going to end it? And my choice was, well, obviously, I'm going to survive it and I'm going to heal, and I have to heal. Because doing the job that I do, as a hypnotherapist, I see the people that come to me and I see all the patterns. All I see is patterns all day long. Patterns of this happening and this happening, and I know exactly why when they come. First of all, I can see it now because I'm this in tune, but it is taking what is going on in that person and following it back. Why is this here? What is it coming from? Because your body, anything that it is doing to you, any of the things that are happening, any of the ways that you're feeling, it is happening for you to illuminate something inside of you that needs to heal. And what I've noticed during the quickening here, how things are really speeding up. And so people are having lots of things come up, is that I've had lots of clients and they've had so many, they go back to past lives, or they go back to even before this, because they've done so much healing work on themselves. And so now it's like, well, no, now it's time to go back and visit these things that happened in the past so that you can reclaim your power. Because you need to have it, and the time is right now. And we haven't been doing this, but this is what I'm saying. This is the long-term game, is that this has been going on forever and ever and ever, and the time is right now. We're like, okay, I'm going to go to this life and I'm going to accomplish this, because by the time that we get to this time, when everything lines up astrologically and all the things are going and all the consciousness and we're ready and the earth can handle it and all the things, we need to be ready for this. So this has got to happen, this has got to happen, and thousands of things had to happen so that what's happening right now can be happening right now. And so just know that every single little bit of it, every little piece of the game, of the puzzle, was all a necessary piece. It had to happen exactly as it did. It had to be this way. And yes, we can still be learning things, we're still mastering things, but it's happening really quickly, isn't it? If you even think about a month ago, you're farther along than you were a month ago. And if you think about 7 months ago, you're way farther along than you were 7 months ago. But now if you were to go back, let's say 20 years, and think about a month and a month later then, right? We were different. We weren't so thoughtful about our lives. back then. We weren't doing the work that we're doing now. Maybe we were spiritual, but it was completely different. We were learning something else. Things have shifted, they've changed, and things are rapidly occurring now. And because they're rapidly occurring, the work that we're doing on ourselves is being assisted astrologically and beyond to rapidly happen. So the pattern I've noticed here recently with the people outside of me is a lot of people feeling exhausted. They're like, oh, I've just been doing so much work and I'm so exhausted, and I'm seeing this. But what I'm seeing this is that they're doing so much work that it is taking the body a bit of time to catch up, because energetically you're just energy, right? You are the energy that underlies your body. You're not a solid mass. You're that energy. This is why it's almost like, you can reassemble all the particles in your body, all the energetic particles. This is why, people can heal just like that in an instant, because you're not solid. I mean, you appear as solid, but you're actually not. You're energetic particles. And so when we're processing all of this stuff from all of these lives and integrating these things and taking them in, our body needs to reassemble. This takes food, right? You need some energy, you need some water, your body needs to be cared for, and it takes some rest. And so while you're going through this process, if you get really energetically wiped out, well, just know you are doing great work. Because I'm seeing this all around me, and all the people all around me. Now, I just took a trip, and when I got back, I was like, oh man, I slept on the plane. Like, I don't nap, I don't typically get tired, so if I am, I'm like, dude, something's up. I'm either low on iron, low on vitamin B, or I don't know, something is going on. And so, ask yourself, if you do get energetically depleted, just go into meditation and ask yourself, like, what's up? Why is this going on? Is this from my environment? Is this from associating with certain people? Is this because of the energetic work I'm doing? And then when it tells you what it tells you, then now you know. And then ask, okay, and what am I supposed to do about this? And it's probably going to tell you, get some extra rest, drink some extra water, maybe go take whatever vitamins it's telling you to take, but really taking care of yourself, because this process, the wonderful thing about it is that this quickening is that it's actually happening quickly, right? So all this work that normally, like, frig, I was doing it for 10 years. Well, it was longer than that, doing self-work, and so the amount of time that took me versus what it's only taking now has really shifted. And so what used to take, however many years, now people are accomplishing this in months and weeks. So this is a blessing. This is a wonderful thing. So if you do find yourself energetically depleted or exhausted after something, which you typically shouldn't, you should feel more energized. But if you're doing a ton and it's really heavy work, then that could happen. But if you're not doing the self-work and you are feeling exhausted, then ask yourself still those same questions, because there is something going on either in your environment or in your thinking process that is causing that to be the outcome. And we don't want this. You want energy, right? Because you feel amazing when you've got all the kinds of energy that you need. So this is the goal. And so as we're working through mastery, basically we want to mentally cleanse our mind completely cleanse your mind, mental cleanse it out of all of the things that you do not want to see again in your life. End of story. You don't want to be angry about things? Well, you need to heal the anger that you have completely, 100%, so that you don't have anger anymore. If you don't want to have annoyance or frustration, well, then you need to heal the annoyance and the frustration that you have within you. And because if you experience it, you have not healed it, and you are then planting more seeds of it, and you will reap a harvest of it again in the future. And so in order to master something, you cannot plant any seeds, and I'm not even one, right? You have a whole empty field, and you put a carrot seed in there, well, you're going to get a carrot. This is the same thing. So if you want to master it and you want to plant fields of just beautiful wildflowers, then you have to plant only seeds of love, because you have to plant what it is that you want to harvest. And so this is the mastery. So if you have an area that's more difficult for you, contemplate that area. Ask yourself, what can I do to improve this by 1% by the end of today? Maybe I need to stop myself from thinking about this. Maybe I need to stop myself from speaking about this, or whatever it is. Talk to yourself and figure out what it is that you need to do so that you can improve by 1%. because then within 3 months, little over 3 months, what's going to happen? It's going to be mastered. Just ask yourself every day when you wake up, what percent of heaven am I living in? And your mind will automatically give you an answer. Just so quick. So then know that the opposite of that, whatever percent it's not, that's hell. Okay? And so then ask that. Tune into yourself. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, what is that about? What can I let go of today so that I can increase the heaven that I have in my life? And you will know. It will tell you. I don't need to tell you. You can tell you. Whatever thought comes into your mind, that's the one. That's the right thing. And so then go into that thought and then follow it back. Let it go. Go back to the earliest of when it very first came up. You can use the mental cleanse series if it's a specific emotion. It will help you to be able to do that. And take it back and heal it and let it go. And then when you come back, you'll be like, perfect, I'm at 100%. And keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. This is mastery, and it takes some time, and it takes spiritual practice. You have to set aside the time. It is like building a relationship, right? If you're like, well, I'm only going to give you, an hour a week. Well, they're only going to give you an hour a week, and you're not going to get to know them at all. So if you want to master something, you've got to give it some time. And so how much time do you want to devote to the divine? You could give it all. Because you can even do it when you're at work. You can even do it when you're at play. Because you can have it directed by the divine. Hey, divine, what should I be doing at work today? How can I make it more heavenly here at my work? And then do that. And then what you are doing through your intention is giving your time and your devotion to the divine, and the divine will give devotion to you. This is how it works. It's equal. So if you want to master things, which I know you do, we all do, it's just a little baby bit at a time. And you're already doing an amazing job. You're doing great work. And this is what I have for you guys here. So, guys, I'm headed to Mount Shasta tomorrow. I know I'll actually be there while you hear this. But I'm realizing I did not record enough content. Because I was just in Canada doing all the trips, all the things, and I got all the things coming up. So anyways, guys, if I miss a day, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to. Take care. Love you all. And please like and share and subscribe. And you could even share this with a friend. And I will see you next time. Take care.